I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on GBN, we're shining a light on the power of positivity with an amazing author. Her name is Noella Miller, and she has penned a book you're just going to love. It is called The ABCs of Affirmations. This uplifting children's book is more than just a playful read, it's a daily tool to build confidence, self worth, and emotional strength from A to Z. With empowering words designed for young minds but meaningful to folks of all ages, this book helps kids and adults alike start each day with purpose and positivity. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on the Global Book Network. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put her on TV today, and we ask viewers like you to support authors like her by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing her beautiful book. The links are below this interview. Noella, thank you so much for joining us here today on GBN.
Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure. Tell us a little bit about the inspiration to write the ABCs of Affirmations.
Well, I was inspired by not just the people around me, but more so just in general by seeing little kids on my TikTok page just saying their affirmations with their parents and seeing that I have little ones, not myself, but my
Mm.
niece and nephew, seeing that they're there and they need something as positive as that, just as much as they need their ABCs and one, two, threes. I felt
Yeah.
like it was very pivotal for them as well.
All right. So let's give us your A affirmation. Do you remember it offhand?
I do. I have the book right here,
Okay, just in case you got your
just in
cheat
case I
sheet.
forgot, just in case I
Exactly.
haven't
I don't
read it in a
blame you.
minute. But A is for appreciate.
Mhm.
The quote that goes with it, the affirmation that goes with it is, I am appreciated for who I am and not just what I can do.
That's great. That's wonderful. So
Yeah.
that really sparks a great conversation between parent and child.
Yes,
That
definitely.
they can read that affirmation in the morning or the evening, and then they can talk about what that actually means and how it impacts their life, right?
Yes,
Wonderful.
definitely.
Now let me quiz you on some of the more difficult letters. What about X? What did you come up for with X?
Oh, I was just talking about this the other day.
See,
I
I
know a
knew.
lot of
At
people.
first I was going to say Z. I'm like, no, Z is easy compared
Z
to
is a
X.
little easy, but X is
Yeah.
hard. But it wasn't hard for me actually. I came up with that. That was one of the first ones that I was like, okay, that should be it. But I was trying to figure out how to correlate it with the illustrations. But X I came up with was X Factor. I don't
Okay.
remember the affirmation. I think you're just gonna have to get the book for that one.
Exactly, exactly. But
But
that X factor is probably that something special about you that
definitely,
distinguishes you from everybody else.
yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
that's perfect. Well, that is a great affirmation and a great use of the letter X. Today is brought to you by the letter X, by the way. Now I sound like Sesame Street. I'm on.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. Why do you believe it's important to introduce affirmations to children at a young age?
I think it's important because it stimulates not just, well, the ABCs of affirmations not only stimulates their educational growth, but also their emotional growth, their emotional intelligence is just as important, if not, I think, a little bit more, because as
Yeah.
adults, we see day to day how hard it is for us to communicate with each other and have emotional conversations and get to the crux of how we feel and why we feel that way and
Yeah.
what empowers us to move forward and what motivates us to move forward. So I feel like as an adult myself at 28, as an adult myself, I feel like it is important for the people that are behind me to have something that I didn't have or
Yeah.
I felt like I didn't have at that age.
Exactly. No, I think it's great to introduce positivity to a child's life at a young age. To start your day, whether it's a prayer or an affirmation or both, I
Yeah.
think is very, very powerful. How do you envision parents and educators incorporating this book into a daily routine?
I think with the same thing that I saw on my TikToks, seeing them in the mirror every day while they're doing their morning routines, brushing their teeth and reading it with the pages of the book, and sometimes even when they're feeling down.
Hmm.
I feel like educators can just bring out the book at story time, and as well as they're learning their ABCs, they're seeing through the pictures as well as what that looks like. Because I know not everybody is just a visual learner, they need to hear the words, they need to see the words, they need to feel the words, they need to know what it means to them as well.
Exactly. That's great. Now you're talking about your TikTok. Are kids actually reading some of your affirmations online on TikTok?
Not on TikTok, but
Okay.
not yet, not yet.
Okay.
Too soon.
After
Hopefully.
this interview, the kids will be all
Definitely, definitely. But I
handle that.
have my niece, while we were doing a photo shoot for the book, she was reading them along and she cried.
Aw, that's
Yeah.
great. And what's her name? We got to give her a little shout out.
Janaya. Janaya.
Janaya. And
Janaya's
is
my favorite niece.
she's your favorite niece?
Oh, not
Oh, no,
favorite.
not favorite. Oh, you want to
Just the
say
one
that?
that yes, just the one that can read so far. The others
Okay.
are 2 and 3.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Nieces are great. They're better than kids, or and nephews are great too because you can, like grandparent, you can love them, spoil them,
Give
take
them
them
right
out to the
back.
store and say, "Here you go. They need a
Yes.
diaper change."
Yeah.
So that's great. That's great. Wonderful, wonderful. I'm glad you've got children in your life that you've been able to get some feedback from them,
Yes.
and that must have been really helpful when you were writing the book. Did you actually consult with any of your nieces or nephews?
Actually, no, I didn't consult any one of them because I kind of wanted to surprise them about it.
Right.
Especially, I feel like this would be the perfect time for my niece, Janaya, to read this book because she's at a pivotal age where she's about to turn 10 years old
Yeah.
and she needs some guidance, as we all do. But I feel like at that age, I, I as well needed some guidance from words and words of encouragement and
Yeah.
affirmations that I feel like were necessary.
Yeah. Especially now when you hit double digits, you feel like you're getting to
Yeah,
be an adult. I remember turning double digits and it was like I felt
it
like
was a
all
big deal
grown
for
up.
me.
It is a big deal. It is a very big deal. And life is hard, and kids can be mean, no matter how much zero tolerance they have for this or that. We know
Yeah.
that kids are rough at school. So it's great to have a book that'll help people feel better about themselves and children feel better about themselves. Now, I quizzed you about A and I quizzed you about X, but I have to ask you, was there a favorite affirmation or a favorite letter when you were doing the writing that really stands out?
I think this is the one that I feel like is my favorite. It's not even the one that goes with my name, but it is my favorite. I think it has to be R.
Mhm.
R for radiant.
Ah, that's great. That's
Because
great.
I feel like growing up, I had to deal with a lot of stigma against my skin, against how I looked, and it never really stuck with me
Hmm.
on how I actually feel inside
Yeah,
about how I looked on the outside.
yeah,
But as I got older and I started to really take in what people would say and hearing the compliments and starting to actually accept them and to start to look at myself differently, I started to say, "Oh wow, I am radiant.
yeah,
I am beautiful. I am
yeah.
that
Ex-
girl
Exactly.
in essence." So I feel like radiant has to be one of my favorite ones.
That's
Hands down.
wonderful. Well, that's also a beautiful black backstory. Um, it's so funny. Often there is no correlation to what you look like outside and what you feel inside,
Yeah.
whether it's your mind or your heart. People can be beautiful and feel unworthy, and
Yeah.
people can be just ordinary and feel like a superstar, so it's what we feel, what we think, what we imagine is so important. And I think this book is going to help children and families put that positive language into their lives. And a word like radiant, they're probably going to have to ask their parents, what does that mean? And
Oh,
that'll be like glowing, shining, like a star, like you, right? So I think
thank you.
that's great. I think that's really, really, really wonderful. So this is your first book?
Yes, it is.
Any more coming? You thinking about writing anything else?
Ooh, I'm not closing off the chapter on that one. I might do a series, or depending on the success of this one, I
Right.
might push it a little further, but I don't
Okay.
know yet.
And the total number of affirmations in the book, I'm guessing is 26, or are there more?
It's 26.
Okay,
One for each
great. I
letter.
could have done a couple for each letter, but I
Yeah, I
think it's
know.
great. Yeah, well, you've got another book coming then. Part two, you can do a different
Probably.
affirmation, except you'll have trouble coming up with another X factor for X. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Or a
you'll
Q.
fig. What's that?
Or a Q.
Or Q? Yeah. Well, Queen. You feel like a
Uh,
queen? That could be it,
yeah,
right?
that could. Okay.
I don't know,
I might just take
quizzical,
that one.
queen. I don't know. There aren't a lot. A few words would stump
Yeah.
me without a doubt. Well, you've done great work on this book, Noella. The name of the book is The ABCs of Affirmations. It is an uplifting children's book that is more than just a playful read. It is a daily tool to build confidence, self-worth, and emotional strength from A to Z with empowering words designed for young minds, but meaningful to kids of all ages, like big kids like me. This book helps kids and adults alike start each day with purpose and positivity. Noella, thank you so much for joining us here on GBN.
Thank you for having me once again.
Great having you on the show. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford. So long for now on the Global Book Network.